Japan has some of the longest living people on the planet. Some of the calmest, too, and the healthiest. But here's the strange part. It's not because they work harder than everyone else. It's not some big, dramatic life change. It's small stuff. Little daily habits that most people scroll right past. And look, you've probably tried the big version already, right? The total life makeover. The new me, starting Monday. And by Wednesday, it's gone. So today I want to show you 8 simple Japanese habits that quietly make life better. Not harder. Better. Do just one of them and you'll feel it. And that 8th habit? It quietly changes the way you see the other 7. So stick around for that. Let's start with the reason they get out of bed in the morning, why small habits win. First, one quick thing. Why do small habits beat big goals? Simple. Big goals run on motivation. And motivation runs out. You know this. We've all felt it. But a tiny habit? It doesn't need motivation. It's small enough to do on your worst day. So it sticks. That's the whole pattern you're about to see. They don't chase huge change. They just repeat small things until those small things quietly become who they are. Okay, habit 1. And it doesn't start with doing anything. It starts with having a reason. Habit number 1, Ikigai. The Japanese have a word for this. Ikigai, it means a reason to get up in the morning. And here's where most people get it wrong. It doesn't have to be some huge life purpose. It can be small. A garden, a hobby, someone you take care of. Just one thing that makes the day worth starting. So why does that matter so much? Because a life with no reason just drifts. The days blur together. But when researchers followed thousands of people in Japan, they noticed something. The ones with a strong sense of Ikigai tended to live longer and healthier. Here's the part that matters for you, though. When you've got a reason to get up, everything else gets easier. The habits stop feeling like chores. They start feeling like your life. But a reason on its own isn't enough. You also need a way to actually get better, without the pressure that makes you quit. That's habit 2. Habit number 2, Kaizen. This one's the engine behind all the others. It's called Kaizen. And the idea is simple. Don't try to change everything at once. Just get a little better today. Then do it again tomorrow. That's it. Not a giant leap. A 1% nudge. So instead of I'm going to get fit, it's I'll do 1 push-up. Instead of I'll read more, it's 1 page. So small, it almost feels silly, right? But watch what happens. 1 push-up becomes 10. 1 page becomes a chapter. You're not white-knuckling it on willpower anymore. You've got momentum. And the pressure? Gone. Which is the exact thing that made you quit last time. All right, let's take that idea and point it at your body. Starting with something you do 3 times a day. Habit number 3, Hara Hachi Bu in Okinawa. One of the healthiest places on earth, people follow a tiny rule at every meal. It's called Hara Hachi Bu. Eat until you're 80% full, then stop. Not stuffed, not 1 more bite, just satisfied, with a little room to spare. So why stop at 80? Because your body is slow. Slower than you'd think. By the time your brain finally says, okay, I'm full, you've usually blown right past it. Stopping a little early just lets that signal catch up. And it shows Okinawa has some of the lowest obesity rates anywhere in the world. Here's the beautiful part. It's not about what you eat. It's about when you stop. No rules. No diet. Just stop a little sooner. And there's one more small habit that makes any meal even better. Habit number 4, the daily walk the Japanese walk. A lot. Through the city, to the station, and often right after they eat. That little walk after a meal? One of the simplest wins there is. So what can 10 minutes really do? More than you'd think. A gentle walk after eating helps your body handle the food you just had. Keeps your energy steady, clears your head, and all that walking through the day, it adds up. Quietly, no gym, no membership, no plan. Just a habit built into the life you already live. Okay, so far purpose, growth, the body. Now let's talk about the thing most of us are honestly starving for. Calm. Habit number 5, Shinrin-yoku. There's a Japanese practice with a gorgeous name. Shinrin-yoku. Forest bathing. And no, it's not hiking. It's not exercise. It's just being among trees. Slowly, phone away. letting your senses take over. So how can standing near some trees actually help you? Well, Japanese researchers took that question seriously, and they found that time in the forest was linked to lower stress hormones, a slower heart rate, a calmer mind. Think about that. In a world this loud, this fast, here's a reset button, and it's free. And you don't even need a real forest. A park works, a few trees, a quiet green corner. The point isn't the scenery, it's the slowness. Now here's where this whole thing takes a turn. Because the next 3 habits, they're not about doing more, they're about doing less. Habit number 6, Kakeibo, let's talk money, the Japanese way. This habit is over 100 years old. It's called Kakeibo, and it's basically a money journal. Once by hand, you write down what comes in, what you have to spend, and what you'd like to spend. Then, before you buy anything, you pause, and you ask one simple question. Do I actually need this? Now you might be thinking, why by hand? There are apps for this, and that is exactly the point. The slowness is the point. Writing it down makes you feel the money leaving. And that little pause right before you buy, that's where the saving actually happens. No restriction. No feeling broke. Just awareness. And that idea, the power of a pause, leads straight into a habit almost nobody in the West gets taught. Habit number 7, MA in Japanese design. There's a concept called ma. It's the value of empty space, the pause, the gap, the nothing, in between the somethings. See, we treat empty like it's wasted. Empty time? Fill it. Empty calendar? Book it. Japan sees it completely differently. That empty space is what gives everything else meaning. So what does empty space have to do with a better life? Honestly, everything. A schedule with no gaps leaves you fried. A mind with no quiet leaves you frazzled. But leaving space on purpose, an unbooked hour, a slow morning, a moment of nothing, that's how you actually recover. And here's the thing I really want you to catch. This is the secret hiding under all 8 habits. None of them are about cramming more into your life. They're about doing small things, calmly, with room to breathe. Which brings us to the last habit, the one that makes every other habit finally stick. Habit number 8, Wabi-sabi, the final one, isn't a task, it's a mindset. It's called Wabi-sabi, finding beauty in imperfection, the cracked bowl, the worn wood, the life that isn't polished. Wabi-sabi says, it doesn't have to be perfect to be good. So why is this the habit that makes all the others work? Because perfectionism is what kills small habits. Every single time. You miss one day, you feel like you blew it. So you quit the whole thing. Sound familiar? Wabi-sabi takes that away. Missed a day? Fine, it's not ruined. You just keep going. And that right there is the difference between people whose habits last and people whose habits fall apart. It's not discipline. It's giving yourself permission to be imperfect. So, those are the 8. But let me tell you what they all really add up to. Go back to where we started. Why do these people live longer? Calmer? Better? Here's the answer. They never tried to change everything at once. They just built small habits. A reason to get up. 1% better. Eat to 80. A daily walk. Time in nature. A mindful pause. Room to breathe. And permission to be imperfect. Tiny things. Repeated with a little grace. A better life doesn't get built in a day. It gets built daily. That's the shift. You don't need a whole new life. You just need a few small habits and the patience to let them work. And hey, you don't need all 8 today. Just pick the one that hits you the hardest and do only that. This week, small habit, big life. If even one of these made you stop and think, that's your starting point. Start there. Tonight, and if you want to go deeper, watch this next one. The Japanese morning routine that makes the rest of your day almost effortless. It's the perfect place to put these habits to work. Small habits, big life. I'll see you in the next one.